Hey everyone, welcome to Daddy Chats. This is episode number 34, and today I'm joined by Stasja, and you are currently in Barcelona, is that right?
Yeah, I'm currently in Barcelona living my life.
Living your best life.
Yeah.
You're in the cafe at the moment.
Yeah, because my flatmates, they're still sleeping, even though it's 11 a.m. So,
It is a
yeah,
Sunday, so that's fine.
yeah, true.
That is fun. So, we were just having a little chat. So you're not originally from Barcelona?
No, I'm originally from Serbia, Belgrade. For those who don't know, this is a country that was in former Yugoslavia. It is located next to Croatia, Montenegro, Albania, and so on. So it's Eastern Europe,
Yeah.
Balkan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the reason we're having this chat is because you were diagnosed with Wilson's disease.
yeah.
Yeah. So when did that happen? Whereabouts were you in the world then?
It happened 6 months ago. So
Oh, very recent.
I got diagnosed in Serbia, but I started realizing that something is super wrong when I was in Barcelona. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So were you living in Barcelona and you flew back to Serbia because you were feeling unwell, or?
Yeah, actually, I went back to Serbia for Easter break. I had a break after um, uh, uh, at my master studies. I had a break, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna check myself. But the thing is that until the moment I got diagnosed, I was still sure that it's nothing serious.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, oh, I might be, because I started realizing I'm having some neurological problems. So I thought, it's nothing serious, I might be sleeping wrong, blah, blah, blah. And for me, it was quite hard to accept it because I was a professional athlete
Yeah.
until recently. I used to play women's water polo.
Oh, really?
So for me, it was like, I don't know. I didn't accept it until the point they told me, hey, you have Wilson's disease, and until the point they've actually done genetic
Yeah.
testing, you know. But what to do? Like I realized that as soon as I accept it, that it's part of me, that this is me, it will be easier for me to live. So I'm
Yeah.
just living now.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have sort of said that to me. The people
Yeah,
that lived in denial for a long time,
yeah.
it kind of it ruined their life a bit more, rather than accepting it and then carrying on and doing the best they could.
Yeah, but my denial lasted like for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
because from the process, I've done my first MRI until I got to the final diagnosis. It was super quick, it was 2 weeks. And I think that I'm super, super lucky with this,
Yeah.
because I have also listened to other chats that you've done. I realized that people couldn't find out for years that they
Yeah.
that they have this, But thankfully, because my parents they quite know, like they know the health system in Serbia and stuff. They took me to private health system,
Yeah.
Yes, and as well, thankfully that I had resources to go there, because I understand that not everybody can afford it,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, well, that was going to be my next question. You went home for your break, and then
yeah.
it's very loud. You went home for
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, you went home for your break, and then you felt unwell, and you managed to get that diagnosis, which is very critical. So
Yeah.
you went private, but were they testing you for a lot of other things? Was it the MRI that initially?
So because I never had problems with my liver. The only problem that I had was that when I was like 15, 16 years old, I would have higher, I don't know how is it called now, but like some liver enzymes, I would have them higher. No, but not with my fault, with the fault of doctors. They were always telling me, that's okay, because I had mononucleosis when I was young, So they were saying, it's completely normal for a person who had this disease, blah blah blah. It's normal. So I was always ignoring this. I would get my blood test and would be like, easy, it's not. Sorry, I'm having hiccups. It's nothing, serious, blah, blah, blah. So I was ignoring this for a super long time. And then when at the end of last year, I started noticing symptoms, because now when I sit and when I think from before, I had symptoms as well, but they were super minor, and only now and then would happen that I would think, it's weird, it must be stress, this or that, So I started realizing this, and then I did an MRI. Just even like I came to the hospital, and I was like, the woman asked me like, why are you doing an MRI? You're so young, you look. My symptoms, they were completely unnoticeable. It would be like my hand would just shake a little bit when I take a cup or something, So I told the woman, just to be sure, just to, just to be 100% sure. So, oh my God. So I was sitting that night and watching a movie with my parents. It was like 10 o'clock in the evening. And I received an email. So I'm like, let's just check what they tell me. And they write in an email. They didn't even tell me in person. In an email, they say like, hey, you're having a brain atrophy. So they didn't tell me at first it's Wilson's. They told me I have brain atrophy, which means your brain is shrinking, and it's a super bad thing,
Yeah, that's an incredible email to receive, and to not be able to talk to anyone directly about it. You must have you would have had 100 questions go through your mind.
I didn't have a single question. The thing is that I just started like shaking. Like, I don't know, if I didn't get a heart attack that night, including my parents, like, I think we will never get a heart attack. This night, this was a horrible, I think the worst night in my life,
Yeah.
So I remember because we have a family friend who is a doctor for brain,
Yeah.
And we call him, and my dad is talking to him, and I don't know if like sometimes when you talk on the phone you can overhear the conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like hoping that he will say it's bullshit. But this guy sounded so pessimistic to me that I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die. I don't know what's gonna happen, And one thing that he told us was, don't stay at this diagnosis, like go ask for other opinions. And I think this was the best advice that we could get from anybody. So then the process started. Like, we went to one doctor who said, I don't see anything wrong with your brain, it must be just like the different size, like sizes vary, blah blah. So at that point I was so relieved, I was like, oh my God, I don't have a disease, I'm good, But then we went for the third doctor who told me that she doesn't see any brain atrophy or anything, but what she sees is that I have like a mineral buildup in my brain.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but in the meantime, while we were checking all these other opinions, what happened was that the same doctor that my dad was talking to, he said that it might be Wilson's disease, and that we should actually go and do the tests to have it, because I was there only for like 2.5 weeks, So he wanted to do everything quickly, not to wait, So I've done a blood test. I've done a 24-hour urine test, and I went to eye doctor.
Yeah.
Actually, I went to eye doctor because I don't know how you call it in English, but you know when side of your eye gets like super inflamed. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like a sty, I think we would call it
Yeah,
maybe.
like I don't know how you call it in English. It doesn't matter. So I had this for a super long time, you know. So I went for this, and
Yeah.
then in the meantime, we were like, "Hey, can you check if she has a Kaiser flash, or I don't know how you
Yeah.
pronounce it,
That's
thing?"
exactly it. Yeah.
And when she said yes, I cannot explain to you my happiness. I started saying yes, yes, because I mean, if you have to choose between Wilson's disease and between, I don't know, brain atrophy, I would
Yeah.
always like every time you ask me, I would choose Wilson's disease, you
Yeah.
know. So that's in short, but in long, my story. Yeah, how I
Yeah.
got diagnosed.
That's incredible, really. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, it's incredible. And it was so recent. You said like 6 months ago.
6 months, six or
Yeah.
April. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
'Cause,
6 or 7 months. Yeah,
I mean, we recently connected on Instagram, isn't it? Because your
yeah.
Instagram is Copper
Copper
Girl.
girl. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, I mean,
I
what inspired you to sort of set this up?
it. So I started this Instagram like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
It inspired me because I'm studying anyways health sciences. You know, I
oh wow,
finished a master in clinical research,
yeah,
international health track, and now I'm searching for a PhD as well. And what I learned there is that it is very important to spread awareness about diseases, you know, especially some disease which is rare like this
yeah,
one, you know, because as well from my experience I have became like super slowed down, you know. Now
yeah,
I'm better because of medication, but I was super slowed down, you know, slow speaking. I didn't have energy, so lack of energy and stuff. Before I got diagnosed, I was frustrating all the people around me. You know, they were like, "Oh, be faster. Oh, why you're so slow? Oh,
yeah,
you are like a grandma. You get super tired and stuff." You know. So, I don't know. I think it is quite important to raise awareness about this disease so that um, people who are healthy, first of all, they don't take their health for granted because
yeah,
this happens like this, you know.
yeah,
So be grateful for what you have, be grateful for your health, but always pay attention to your symptoms, to if something is happening. Don't be lazy, don't ignore the symptoms. Like, learn from my experience, from experience of other patients. That's first thing. Second thing is to make them understand, you know, because uh, a lot of people get super scared because they don't know about it, you know.
yeah,
They think, oh my god, it's super scary, blah blah blah. Unfortunately, I have had, I mean, I didn't cut it, but some people cut connections with me because they were super scared what's gonna happen to me, you know. Is it is it gonna, you know, are they gonna be hurt in the end if I
yeah,
die, if I, you know, stuff like this. But I understand them because it's coming from not knowing, you know.
yeah. Not
and
understanding. Yeah,
and for me I think that it is not you shouldn't be ashamed if you don't know, you know, but you should work on knowing, of knowing facts, of familiarizing yourself with it,
yeah,
and you know, stuff like this. And third reason, which is maybe the most important reason for me, is to send a message to people with other people with Wilson's disease, or any people who are struggling in life,
yeah,
is it depression or other disease or whatever, that they are not alone, you know. there are people who support them, who are going through same thing as them or even worse. But of course, like, I'm not saying, oh, look at me, I'm going through worse thing, you know. This is just to show them that they're not alone, and that they can count on other people. They
Yeah.
can come to me, they can talk to me, I can give them support. And we all together, we have to build our mental strength, you know, because
Yeah.
it's everything in the head. You can, as my aunt once told me, and I always will remember this. She says, you don't have problems in life. Like, problem is a thing that doesn't exist. You have situations in life which you choose how you're gonna solve.
Yeah.
If you, it is 100% in your hands, you know. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
choose to go mentally strong to it through it, like, you're good, you know.
Yeah.
But if you choose to cry, to stay on the floor and cry, and don't get up, you will always stay in mud. You will
Yeah.
never see clearly from your tears, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This was my idea. I don't know.
It's very true. It's very, very
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
And I think it's only natural, like you said, you know, when you were going through that diagnosis, there was a denial, and I think
yeah,
everyone kind of goes through that, and then after the diagnosis, you still got that sort of like, why has it happened to me? And this is all processes that you have to
yeah,
go through, but at the end of it,
yeah,
you do have to stand tall and
yeah,
accept it and move
yeah.
forward, like you say.
But the funny part is, for example, I never thought, why did it happen to me? Because
Yeah,
I have two brothers. And throughout my whole life, I was always thinking, if something has to happen, it happens to me.
yeah,
I would rather die if it happens to them than if it happens to me. So when I got diagnosed, I was always thinking, okay, it's me, it's not my brothers, you know?
yeah,
So I don't know, like, it's always the way you look at the things, you know. Of course, I'm not a superhuman. I have moments, and quite often moments, when I would sit, I would cry, I would be super sad, you know.
yeah,
But it is okay to cry, you know, because this is the way you release your negative energy out. But as soon as you finish crying, you should sit and say, okay, Stasia, now the time is to think clearly, you know. And
yeah,
what can you do about it? Nothing. The only thing I can do about my disease is to take my medication, follow my diet, and the rest will come. The rest will be how it must be, you know.
yeah,
I it's better to live my life the best I can than to sit on the floor, cry, be upset, you know. And
yeah,
because you have one life and only one life, so you choose how you will live it,
yeah,
you know.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So you mentioned you had brothers. Were they tested after you were diagnosed?
Uh, my younger brother, yes, he is only a carrier.
Yeah,
And my older brother, right now, he is waiting for results. So
yeah.
let's see. Hopefully, he's
Hopefully
okay.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't suppose you know of anyone in the family that may have had it.
No, no, absolutely not.
No.
But I'm thinking, even if anybody had it, it must be before, like, you know. So when medicine wasn't so advanced,
Yeah, yeah,
when people were anyways living short, like, they had a
yeah.
shorter
Short lives.
lifespan, and,
Yeah,
you know.
that's
So
it.
it wouldn't be surprising to me if it just went with, like, unnoticeable, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's exactly what we thought when we looked back in our family
yeah,
history.
yeah,
You know, if someone had died of liver disease, they wouldn't have necessarily known what it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's it.
So, how long are you out in Barcelona for now then?
uh, I started living here 15th of September 2020.
Oh, well, so you've been out
Yeah,
there for a couple of
yeah,
years.
yeah. And I'm planning to stay here and live. it is a process for getting papers. Like my head hurts,
Yeah.
but I will make it. You know.
And how do you find getting your medication there? So say somebody else wanted to move to a different country, so you're not a national of that country at the moment.
No,
How do
no.
you find getting your medication?
The way I get it is that my parents or some family member or friends, when they come to Barcelona, they bring it, you know,
Yeah,
because right now I don't have health insurance here. I have to wait to get papers and
yeah,
then I can do it, you know. To be honest, I wasn't quite looking into it much yet because I just started like newly. I mean, recently 6 months is nothing, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So I started recently with this. So right now, like slowly and slowly, you know, paso a
yeah,
paso. So
yeah. And what
yeah.
medication are you on?
I'm on creatine,
Yeah,
on zinc, and I'm taking vitamin B6.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I never tried creatine. I was always on penicillamine.
Yeah, well, this is because my doctor, she was like, she thinks that creatine has less adverse effects, so
Yeah,
this is why she gave it to me, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
what I did, I don't know about you, but when I started the treatment, I started like super like one by one. I was increasing every month a pill, you know.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
started first only with 3 pills of zinc, then adding one creatine, then another, then and currently I'm drinking 4 pills of creatine, 3 pills of zinc, and sorry, 2 pills of vitamin B6.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember how I started. It was so long ago.
yeah. You
But
were
yeah, I mean,
14, 12, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
14, I think.
yeah, yeah,
And I was really, really ill.
yeah,
So quite a lot of it was a blur. Sort of, I was on
yeah,
really strong medication a lot because I
yeah,
went into full liver failure. So,
yeah,
um, yeah. So
yeah.
it was a worrying time for the family.
Yeah, this story, I was watching your video. I don't know if it was a new video or an old one, but you were talking about your experience there.
Yeah,
So for me, it was like I don't know if you're religious or not, but was it a god or what that sent this man into a clinic? You know
yeah. I do
that.
think I'm not necessarily religious, but I do think I'm very lucky and
Yeah, you're
I'm
same like me. Yeah,
here for a reason, but I don't know what the reason is.
yeah.
And that's,
Well, I know what's the reason. The reason is right now you're helping other patients with Wilson's disease.
yeah,
That this is one of your purpose. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
maybe, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because like we were kind of discussing that, this all started mainly in lockdown.
yeah,
There was no real big
yeah,
vision for what I was going
yeah,
to do apart from just chat to loads of different people.
yeah, yeah.
And for me, like when I was diagnosed, the only information I had was from the hospital, and they give you the scariest stuff
Same,
they can find.
same,
So,
same.
and the internet was very new when we was young. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you could print some bits off, but it was pretty much
May I know how old are you?
35.
Okay, okay. When
Yeah,
you said 40, I was like, what?
no, 35 now. But yeah, so like it was quite new the internet then. But now obviously with things like YouTube and podcasts,
Yeah, yeah,
it's great
yeah,
to have this here. And then if
yeah,
anyone is diagnosed, they can come along and see
yeah,
that that life's still livable.
yeah, yeah. I had the same problem, and for very long, I didn't even want to know anything about this disease. I was like, give me my medication, and I don't care, because it
Yeah,
was so scary for me, you know.
yeah,
My mom was looking at videos and like I don't know web pages and stuff like this, and she would send it to me, and I would be like, please
no,
don't,
no,
because when I see Wilson's disease dot something, I would be like, my hair would go up, you
yeah,
know. So I don't know, but right now I don't know. I think that enough time has passed when I'm saying, okay, I live with this. It's better if I know it than
Yeah.
if I don't know it, you know.
Yeah.
So when I started, you know, getting interested to know stuff about it, I find out about new treatment, about, you know,
Yeah.
the clinical trials that they're doing, you know. I
Yeah.
think you also mentioned it in one of
Yeah.
your video. Yeah.
Yeah, for the genetic change in your genetics slightly, so that
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
get rid of the
yeah,
Wilson disease
yeah.
gene.
I'm
Um,
actually quite following this. I learned that they finished the animal trials,
yeah,
and now they're starting human clinical
yeah,
trials.
yeah. I've seen a
Yeah,
few posts on Facebook of people that have said they're going to
yeah,
try and take part, and
yeah.
it's definitely really interesting. I recently did like a little survey with a medical company, and they asked me a couple of questions about it, and they were like, you know, would you be afraid to do it because of what it is? And I was like, probably not. I would have definitely been up for trying it.
Yeah,
And they did mention that obviously because it hasn't gone into human trials, they're not really sure how long it lasts, whether it will last a lifetime, whether it lasts
yeah,
5 years, 10 years.
yeah,
But
yeah.
everyone I've spoke to has said that even if it's 5, 10 years,
It's
I'll
better
give it a go.
than
Yeah,
eating pills every day, like having
yeah.
a meal of pills. Yeah,
That's.
but I
Would you
was
say?
also
I'd
sorry.
say you've never really been on medication before. This is the first time since since you have been born that you've now taken medication.
Sorry.
Sorry. So like you've never taken medication up to this point before. You've never had to take tablets or anything like that.
Well, tablets like painkillers if something
Yeah,
happens,
painkillers and stuff, but not
but nothing,
regularly.
nothing serious. You know,
Yeah.
I always considered myself super healthy. You know, the only thing that I had a problem with my whole, my whole life since I started getting periods was period. You know,
Yeah.
because for example, there were times where I wouldn't have a period for 9 months, but I wasn't sexually active, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it would be super questionable for me, you know.
Yeah.
And because I was involved in sports which are super, you know, hard, intensive stuff. Um, my gynecologist, she was always telling me, oh, it must be this, you know. I know other athletes that girls that do hard sports, so they have problems with period, blah blah blah. And just when I started taking Wilson's disease medication, it started getting, you know, more
Regular.
regular. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, I unfortunately don't understand why is this happening,
Yeah.
but it is quite interesting, you know.
Yeah. Did you ever
Yeah.
have nosebleeds?
Nosebleeds, no, but
Never.
I was always a bit anemic as well,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
I
Same.
have, I have, I don't know if this has to do with Wilson, but I always had very low blood
Blood
pressure.
platelets.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
blood
blood
pressure.
pressure. I don't know if it has to do anything with
Yeah.
this, but yeah,
Yeah, I think I had low platelets. I was very anemic, low
yeah,
blood pressure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know. Now, you know, I had before many questions like I'm feeling super healthy, but why is this happening? Why I don't have perfect numbers when I do my blood tests, you know, and
yeah,
stuff like this. And now like every day I'm finding out something new and everything is like aha moment, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so it is quite how do you say, like I feel super good when I find out something, you know. I'm like finally, you know, finally I have an answer to this.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. And then you can move on, like you said.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Well, I've just looked. I've kept you for like half an hour now. So, and it is your Sunday, so I'll let you get off.
okay.
But thank you very much for coming on and chatting to me.
No, thank you for inviting me. It was really my pleasure.
Yeah, no, it's great. And your positive attitude is going to be really effective for other people as well to see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And also, I would like to ask anybody who is suffering from same disease or any other problem, please, if you ever struggle, like you can come talk to me at my Instagram, Copper Girl. And yeah, I'm here to help. So
Yeah, that's very good. It's very inspirational.
yeah, thank you. You are as well.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do for the rest of your day? You're gonna go and wake your housemates up?
For the rest of the day, I will continue with my breakfast because you caught me in the middle of it. And then I think I will go and visit my friend who is outside of Barcelona. And yeah, that's about it.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you very much. I'll
Thank you
see
as
you
well.
later. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone. Bye.